Scal Nasciunta AD 1931, Drumany National School. Here we all stepped out into the big world, and it is wonderful to see that the name has been restored to the school, and we are very, very grateful to the Adams family who have restored the name. To the right, you will see where the gate is ajar. It leads down to the children's playground, where here the infants and the children up to third class played. Very often the older ladies from the upper room came down here, I suppose, to mother those children. And we had very, very many happy days in this place. Further down to the right, we have the old homestead of the O'Rourke's. Many's the time we troubled Mary O'Rourke with the balls going into her garden, and very often we called to her for a drink, and we were never refused. She was a most obliging woman. This is the door into the lower room, and it was to this door that each student came on the morning that they started school first. And I suppose we trembled there. Some of us looked forward to going in, some of us were brought in screaming, and some of us, I suppose, maybe ran away. We are now looking at the gable end that faces Lough na Corrigan. And just to the back where the clothesline is, do you remember the old water tank? Dare drink water out of that. It tasted like acid. Further round is the wall, the house running parallel to where the old wall that separated the big yard from the little yard. And we can see remnants of the dry toilets. I'm not too sure which was it the boys or the girls that we're looking at, but certainly it is a remnant of it anyway. It looks much pleasanter now with the flowers and all the beautiful shrubbery. Looking out through the trees, we can see Lough na Corrigan. We weren't let down to the lake from school, but the students who travel around the lake, going for Cornerbrone, Drumroos, Drumcora, all of those areas over that way, they often spent hours along the lake playing and enjoying themselves, chasing lee beans and roach and perch. The doorway into the master's room. The door is gone, and gone also is the scraper. How many of us remember the scraper that was on the doorstep? As we turn around, we see the gable end facing out into Sonny Doherty's field, often referred to as the farm. And on those windows, when we were being called into school, the master would tap a coin, and it was as good as any bell. Further over to the left, as we look in, we're looking in the direction of where once stood the boys' dry toilet, and of course further up to the corner, nearer the boundary with Doherty's, was the ash heap. And we often played around that. And of course, in Doherty's field, as we looked to the back of us, we played our football there, and we had many, many, many minutes and hours of pleasure there. We cannot see the back of the school, but in there stood the ball alley. And there were some of us who thought we were the Joey Matters of the future, and we enjoyed ourselves there too. And of course, the big girls and the big boys played in this yard here. And dare we take a peep at one another? Were we too shy? I wonder. where the bicycle shelter was. This shelter wasn't here, of course, for the older students, but in the 1960s, the shelter was built, and it was a shelter also for students, because it was quite cold here sometimes. No trees here when we went to school, and where that line of trees runs, you can see the remnants of what we used to call the gripe. And many's the time we threw one another down from the ditch into that gripe. And do you remember the white thorn trees or bushes that were here and there along it? We used to run around them, and our track was very, very visible there. Of the Adams family, we now stand in the master's room, and we're looking at the fireplace, and we see there are turf on the fire. Do you remember how we brought the turf to the school? Each family brought the ass and creels and with turf for this fire. And I suppose you remember the rows of bottles that often stood in front of the fire to keep them warm. It's interesting to see that the fireplace is almost intact. I think, remember, it was red and white in our time, the brickwork. And notice where the screen used to be put up. The spuds are still in the wall. Now, as we turn around, we come around to look at the door that led from the hallway. And just before that, do you remember the map of Ireland, how it hung on the wall where the two lights are now? And we often got confused with that. We used to think that the east was down on this side because it faced the opposite direction. We used to think the right was the west and the left was the east, but we learned afterwards that it was in reverse. Just where the pictures are on the wall and the chairs and the wainscoting, it's about the position of the old partition. The partition, I'd say, was a wee bit further back because remember there was a press in that corner there with beautiful deal wood in it. And so I suggest that the partition was further back than that. There's no sign of what would they call the wind inlets or fresh air ones. Remember up in the corner, we don't see them. Of course, the wainscoting was green at that time. It's, I don't know, is it the old wainscoting, but it doesn't look like it. The boards or timber seems much narrower. We are moving now down, maybe, hopefully, that we get into the lower room, which was the infant room. That's the one that we all came into for the first time. And we remember, with gratitude, the teachers who came in there. I remember my first teacher, I think, was Miss Kilkine. Moving on then to Miss Neary, Miss Kenny. We had Miss Keegan for a time, and Miss McGuinness. And I believe following Miss McGuinness probably was Maura Rillans, our own Maura Rillans. And in years to come, our classmates come on to be teachers here, Anna Rillans. We're standing in what was the porch or hallway outside the master's room. And lo and behold, what do we see before us? Do you recognize it? One of the school desks. And it looks extremely well. I wonder did it look that well when we were here. I don't see any names written on it, but the ink wells are as distinctive as ever. Look at them, beautiful brass ink wells. But where are the sliding tops? Gone, probably with someone's pocket sometime. Standing in the porch of the infant's room. And if you look down, you will see the tiles on the floor that were here when we all came to school. Do you remember how in summertime we loved to cool our bare feet on the tiles? And do you remember also, as it was coming near winter time, and we're still going barefooted, how we felt the tiles to be so cold. I can also see the flag under the door, the original flagstone. And the door, believe it or not, is the door that was there from the time the school was opened. Look at the latch, the brass latch, still looking as well as it did when we were at school. Further up, we can see the clothes hanger, where we hung our clothes. What were they called? Were they, I suppose, clothes pegs or hangers? See them on the wall. There are 1, 2, 3. They're standing there as they were when we went to school. The timber that time was green, as far as I remember. And the old wainscoting, I see it here. I'd say it is it that has been restored. It was also green at that time. So things haven't changed that much in some areas of the school. While most of it has been turned into a residence, this hallway is very, very familiar to us all. Now in the infants' room, and we see that the fireplace has changed a bit, but the mantelpiece is still as it was when we were small here. So also is the back of the fire. It is the same. Other features that have remained, if we turn around and look, do you remember the vent that we were searching for in the master's room? There it is. Is it more like a flower vase now than a vent? But I was often intrigued myself as to what was in it. And I think in the master's room from time to time an odd copy disappeared into it. The ceiling, as it was in our time, however, there are slight alterations to it. And of course, there are a lot of alterations to this room. I suppose very few of us would recognize it as the room where we came in here as timid little children. The cofre, the big cofre that was in the far corner, is gone. And the big long table that was away here to the back, it's also gone. That was the table that we played Morla on, and there were some toys there. And I hope it maybe brings back some memories to you. Otherwise, we cannot see the partition. It has changed significantly, but it is great to be back in here again. We're back in the old school, now the schoolhouse. Through the window, where the master used to tap his kine to call us in, we're looking out into the schoolyard, the big schoolyard, the big play schoolyard, and we're also looking out towards Sonny Doherty's field, where we played somewhat football and played tig and other games. Just below the window was the master's desk. We all remember that, where he sat sometimes, not very often. He did some corrections, and not time he took a squint at the paper. Heinz family, the owners, no, Heinz Adam family, the owners of the school. And we are very grateful indeed for their hospitality and that they are allowing us to come in here and do a video around the school, and also that we will be all coming back here to Mass tomorrow. Heinz Adam will say a few words.
We feel very much part of the community and are very happy to join with you in your celebrations today and tomorrow.
It is almost covered now with bushes. When we went to school, it was much more visible, and I think that was the start of our fairy journey into the history of our parish. We usually started off with overlooking our school is a holy dolmen, and from there we went on a magic journey round our parish, thanks to our schoolmaster. Kill looks deserted. How we remember when it was in full operation, horses and carts coming for barrels of lime, as it was called, and the we also remember the beautiful smell of the burning column as the stone was put in and burned in this lime kiln. Jim Early worked here, and McCaffrey, Michael Nealon, God rest them all. They're the ones I remember working here. And the lime kiln is always in our mind when we think of the school. Drumany National Schools. And somewhere in that site in front of us stood the first Drumany National School from 1864 until 1878. The building we're looking at now, the dwelling house, was the second national school before it was constructed into this magnificent building. It was the national school from 1878 on until 1933, when the third Drumany School opened. Master Rillans reconstructed the building into a dwelling house, and he lived here for the remainder of his life, along with his good wife Annie and his great family. It was down to this house that we were sent or brought when we fell and cut the knees. And here we encountered the most loving kindness of Mrs. Rillans, a woman of great generosity and great wit and humour. Remember with great fondness the Rillans family, and we remember particularly Master Paddy and Annie, and also Hugh and Porrick. May God give them eternal rest. And of course, remember Anselm, Maura, Detta and Anna. And we wish all the Rillans family who are here and there throughout Ireland a long, long life and happiness. And God bless the Master, and God bless Mrs. Rillans as we knew them. Hallowed grounds of Cool Kill. When this church was built, there is great uncertainty. The story goes, however, that when the monks were building the church, the fishermen passed by, and as they passed, the monks asked them for some fish. They were coming from Loch na Corrigan. They were refused the fish, and it is said that the monks put a curse on the lake, and there were no fish to be got there for a long, long time afterwards, and it was known as the Fishless Lake. And to commemorate this event, the monks carved two fish here at the doorpost. One fish, as you'll see, is carved in, and the other fish is carved out. Now, that is tradition. They are commemorating the curse that they put on the fishermen. Not very saintly for monks, but I suppose they may have been very hungry. It is a very ordinary building. There's very little architecture to it or decorative windows or anything. It's just the east window. There is a slight decoration on it, and we might see that from outside. East window, as you can see, there is some carving remaining. When we think of Cool Kill, we just think of Master Rillans and how he used to take us down a very imaginative journey to the very historic parish of Fina. His first stop, of course, was the Dolmen overlooking the Drumany Church or Drumany School, and then next he would say, and in Churchfield stands Cool Kill. Outside Cool Kill, we remember that we are standing in a very historic area. Just across in the next field is a mass rock covered over with bushes and trees. This mass rock, it is said, a yeoman once stood while the priest was performing saying mass. However, for some reason, miraculously, the yeoman did not see them. And to commemorate this, it is said that the track of the horse's hooves are left in the rock. In the next field to that is St. Patrick's Well, and tradition says that St. Patrick baptized from that well when he was passing this way. And further up from that is another dolmen, just across and on the way in to this church is the second dolmen in this area. So we're in a very historic area. And I think all past pupils of the Drumany School felt that they were in a very special school, possibly because the way that our teachers handed down the history of the area to us. And we felt that no other school in Ireland was so.
How you doing? I'm met Frankie yet, but somebody said this is going down. I come to get a cloth for to wipe down some chairs and somebody's right now.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
We had to do something for a or jump the drain or something.
She's not going to be Lungs has given her a cycle go. Bags, the bags.
Now, Gerald, you're doing something with Fred. No, George is with White. Yeah. Certainly, it'd be a pleasure to help.
Great. Thank you for coming. He looks well anyway, it's fine enough.
I'll probably be able to work now. Who wins?
Which of them? In Dublin. Many did he have? Many and many.
Right, lads. Come on, boys, this way for a second. That's it, lads, at the camera, boys. There he goes.
Maureen, how are you? Maureen, how are you?
The person drive in there looking on. Yes. We let him in here.
She's here. Oh, is she here? Yeah, she's just here. No, it's here.
No. No, how are you doing? Good to see you. How do you know her?
You're very welcome. Thanks. Grandra. Egan's. Link with the Neelands and up for it.
Come up to get the name.
Jimmy. You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.
I am. Well,
Well,
here best we do it exactly. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Huh? I'm not able to put it in. No.
I'm not here for the big day. Tag. I get the picture up in there.
You're back to your room.
Exactly. Yes.
I left here in 40 grand.
Ah, yeah. Where do you know? That's what's right. I don't know. How long goes
In school, and their many friends. Kate Mina Forger Arash, G. Drumany. This is a celebration weekend, and there is no more fitting way to begin our celebration than by offering the holy sacrifice of the Mass on our old school grounds. We are honoured to have 3 of our past teachers who will be taking the readings. First reading will be read by Anna Rillans-Dolan, the last teacher in Drumany School. The responsorial psalm will be read by Billy McGuinness McNally, who taught here in the mid-50s. And the second reading will be read by Sinead Kenny Byrne, who taught from May 1949 to October 1956 in Drumany School. The prayers of the faithful, we have selected one from each decade. The first prayer will be read by John or Jack Layden for the 1920s. John J. McLaughlin recites the second prayer representing the 1930s. Breach Greenan Duggan represents the 40s. Esther Dignan reads for the 50s. Representing the 1960s is Carmel Darcy Daly. Last but not least is near neighbour Frank O'Rourke representing the 1970s. Kate Miller Forger Rish, we're well ready to start. We'll start with the Mass. Thank you. Now, Sinead will lead us off. Sinead Egan.
Father, I know that your love for me has no bounds. When darkness has fallen, your voice from the heavens resounds, saying trust and believe, come and walk on my road to its end. Then take me home, Father, Spirit, Son, my master and friend. Jesus, I know that your truth is spoken each day, but power and greed change the creed, leaving truth to battle is won. Spirit, I know that your love for grace is revealed.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. The Lord be with you. May God bless us in his mercy. May he make his face shine on us, that we might know his ways on earth and his saving power among all the nations. To prepare ourselves this evening to offer up the holy sacrifice of the Mass, let us call to mind our sins. Lord Jesus, you are mighty God and Prince of Peace. Lord, have mercy. Lord Jesus, you are Son of God and Son of Mary. Christ, have mercy. Lord Jesus, you are Word made flesh and splendour of the Father. Lord, have mercy. May Almighty God have mercy on us, forgive us our sins, and bring us to everlasting life.
When Moses came down from the mountain of Sinai. As he came down from the mountain, Moses had the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hands. He did not know that the skin on his face was radiant after speaking with the Lord. And when Aaron and all the sons of Israel saw Moses, the skin on his face shone so much that they would not venture near him. But Moses called to them, and Aaron, with all the leaders of the community, came back to him, and he spoke to them. Then all the sons of Israel came closer, and he passed on to them all the orders that the Lord had given him on the mountain of Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking to them, he put a veil over his face. Whenever he went into the Lord's presence to speak with him, Moses would remove the veil until he came out again. And when he came out, he would tell the sons of Israel what he had been ordered to pass on to them. And the sons of Israel would see the face of Moses radiant. Then Moses would put the veil back over his face until he returned to speak with the Lord. This is the word of the Lord.
Responsorial Psalm. Response: You are holy, O Lord our God. Exalt the Lord our God. Bow down before Zion, his footstool. He, the Lord, is holy. Response: You are holy, O Lord our God. Among his priests were Aaron and Moses. Among those who invoked his name was Samuel. They invoked the Lord, and he answered. Response: You are holy, O Lord our God. To them he spoke in the pillar of cloud. They did his will. They kept the law which the Lord had given. Response: You are holy, O Lord our God. Exalt the Lord our God. Bow down before his holy mountain, for the Lord our God is holy. Response: You are holy, O Lord our God.
no money, come, receive grain and wheat. Come without paying and without cost. Drink wine and milk. Why spend your money for what is not bread, your wages for what fails to satisfy? Eat me, and you shall eat well. You shall delight your root there. Come to me dutifully. Listen, that you may have life. I will renew with you the everlasting covenant, the benefits assured to David. This is the word of the Lord.
All you people, strong is his love for us. He is faithful forever. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
First time.
Dear Lord, we come together this weekend to celebrate the reunion of past pupils of Drumany National School. May we all enjoy this weekend as we renew old friendships and acquaintances, revive old memories, and relive again the joys and happiness of our youth. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us.
Let us all pray that parents and teachers will continue to impart Christian values to our children, that they will cherish truth, justice, and equality, and hand on the faith to the coming generations. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us.
We pray for peace throughout the world, and that the spirit of goodwill and friendship will enter all hearts. We pray particularly for peace on our island, and that all parties will further their efforts to advance the peace process to a lasting peace. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us.
We pray for our faithfully departed. We remember especially our deceased parents, past pupils and teachers. May they share eternal happiness and joy in the glory of God's kingdom. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us.
We pray for priests, bishops and church leaders. May more young people answer the call to the religious life. We pray that the laity will become more involved in furthering the message of Christ in our lives. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us.
We pray for past pupils and teachers who for various reasons cannot be with us this weekend. We pray especially for those who are unwell. May they experience the gift of healing. Lord, hear us.
Lord, graciously hear us. Offertory gifts will be presented.
Are symbolic of our life here at school. And the first gift being brought up is brought up by Patsy Ledoux. He's bringing up the key which opened and closed our school. And most importantly, opened for all of us the door into the wonderful world of learning knowledge. You come up to me. Following Patrick is Mary Kate Dolan, Galley, who takes to the altar a sod of turf. The turf fire in the open grates kept us warm, and it also kept warm the bottles of tea left beside us. Helen Darcy Knight brings to the altar wildflowers, which symbolise how we grew up and played in the heart of nature and the wildness of life. Sean Redican carries a book to symbolise how we learned to read and write at school. Two men are coming together next. Gerald Adley takes a handball and Frankie Maguire a football. With these, we had endless hours of pleasure. Maura Gill is taking perhaps the lightest gift to the altar. She brings to the altar a timber, symbolising the skills and crafts that pupils develop in this school. Jimmy Mulvey carries a roll book, which is a record of our days in Drumany. Sarah Doherty and Pauline Shanty-Berry bring to the altar the bread and wine, which will be transformed into the body and blood of Christ, our everlasting food.
Lay your hands gently upon us. Let their touch render your peace. Let them bring your forgiveness and healing. Lay your hands gently, lay your hands.
Let only say the word, and I shall be healed.
For you are always close to me, following all my ways. May I be always close to you, following all your ways, Lord. I watch the sunlight shine through the clouds, warming the earth below. And at the midday light seems to say, I feel your brightness near me. And as the evening closes its eyes, I feel your presence near. For you are always close to me, following all my ways. May I be always close to you, following all your ways, Lord, to whom can I go? You alone speak the words of life. You alone on the earth or in heaven above are my Savior and my Lord. I found a treasure in a field that neither time nor death can steal. I will sell what I have, give all that I am, to hold this treasure as my own. Jesus, Lord of my life, I can ask for nothing more than to see and believe that my life lies in you, in the kingdom of my Lord. I found a treasure in a field that neither time nor death can steal. I will sell what I have, give all that I am, to hold this treasure as my own. Quiet breeze, friend of gentle heart, blowing soft and warm through my life. Whisper songs to me of eternity, sweet serenity and peace without end. Sing to the Lord, sing to the Lord, silently, peacefully filling my heart. precious time for our hearts to learn of your love. We are children living a mystery. May we always be unfolding to you. Sing to the Lord, sing to the Lord, silently, peacefully filling my heart. Sing to the Lord, sing to the Lord, beautiful gift of your soul.
Time for remembering, a time to recall the trials and the triumphs, the fears and the falls. There's a time to be grateful for moments so blessed, the jewels of our memory where love is our guest. There is treasure in our fields, there is treasure in our skies, there is treasure in our dreaming, from the soul to the eye. But wherever we gather, in the light of God's grace, and for all whom we remember, there will ever be a place. There's a gold that is gleaming in a past we once knew, in our tears and our laughter, 'twas love brought us through. There's a road we have traveled where sunlight has kissed, that carries us onwards where loved ones are missed. There is treasure in our fields, there is treasure in our skies, there is treasure in our dreaming, from the soul to the eye. For wherever we gather, in the light of God's grace, and for all whom we remember, there will ever be a place.
Now we sum up our... May Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. The Mass is ended. Go in peace.
Let there be love shared among us. Let there be love in our lives. May the Lord's love sweep this nation, cause us
I wonder could I have your attention just for a few minutes, because we're still dealing with Irish weather, so I'll not detain you too long. As chairman of the Drumany School Reunion, it is my pleasure to welcome all past pupils and friends here to our Mass this afternoon. It is a pleasure to have you all here. And being out there on the road earlier on and watching people meet, hug each other, some of them didn't even know each other, and they looked at the name badges. We are delighted. I would also like to extend a special welcome to our past teachers who are with us here today as well. You are very welcome, and I hope you enjoy the weekend. Our thanks to Father Doyle for officiating at Mass here today, and also, weather not permitting, he had placed the church at our disposal. Thank you very much, Father. To the altar boy, Martin Doonan,
for willingly offering his services to me when I asked him to serve Mass here today. Thanks very much, Mark. To the readers and the gift bearers, thank you very much. To the stewards who worked tirelessly in the field and on the road today to make sure the cars were adequately parked and the free movement of traffic at all times. Thank you very much. Out on the road there's a banner. That banner was designed, printed and completed by Andy Redican, all on his own. And I think it's a tribute to him. Thank you very much, Andy. To all of the people who helped at the badges and the registration, to Sean Rourke and Aircon for willingly supplying his huts in the event of a shower, I must say they were gladly needed. Thank you very much. To Enda McLean, who has been here with us for the last few hours, and his co-partner Johnny McGrath, who spent a few hours here with us yesterday evening. The both are from Drumshanbo. Again, thanks very much to both of them. To Willing Donlan, the photographer for the Leitrim Observer, who willingly gave of his time to be here, and I must say he got some excellent photographs, so watch out for the local paper in the weeks to come. To Sinead Egan, and I must say it came as a surprise to us all when our mother came up to sing that last song. What can I say? Well done. Now if I've left out anyone, I'm sorry, but I don't think I have. But last, but by no means least, the Adams family. The Adams family. They are now the owners of the school, but they placed it at our disposal for the weekend. And I must say, when they were approached at the beginning, they were more than helpful. Their cooperation has been immense at all times. The wind is far today. At one time we thought it would be washed out of it. They supplied and erected this tent here that's over Father Doyle on the altar. I say thank you very much, very well done. They also supplied us the field up at the top of the road for car parking. This is the way that they treated us this weekend. And again I will say thank you very much. If Bridie Darcy Boyle is there, would she please come forward, please? Now if I could have Gisela and Heinz Adam here, please. As a token of thanks from us and all of you, this is a small gift that I will ask our correspondence secretary, Bridie Darcy Boyle, to present to Adam, to Heinz and Gisela Adam, on your behalf and our behalf.
Thank you very much for the use of the weekend, and we hope that everybody has a lovely time, and we're all very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, since my wife and me have been living here partly for about 20 years, I'd like to read you a little poem. I, when a boy, was sent to school, not to be world's greatest fool. And when myself old age was reaching, I just for pleasure started teaching. And as this seemed not to suffice, we moved into this schoolhouse nice. That you should know, I loudly shout, our golden years we here live out. A place where fun and learning grew, and now and then a row or to. But what we want today is fun. For you, and everyone.
Fair play.
Thank you very much, Heinz. As they do say, a better Irishman than the Irish themselves. Now, again, they have indicated to us that anyone that would like to use the school to go in and have a look around, they're all very welcome to do so. That's their generosity again. Afterwards, when we break up from here, we move to the community centre. There we have light refreshments, the launching of the book, and the presentation of certificates. That will take place later on in the community centre. Thank you very much for your attention and cooperation so far. Player and manager of our sound for this evening, Josie Creamer from Ballamore. Thanks very much, Josie. I would like to thank Father Doyle for the use of the centre and placing it at our disposal for this gathering here this evening. Tomorrow, Father Doyle offers prayers for our deceased members in Fina Cemetery, Fina Abbey Cemetery at 3 o'clock. And German, I would like to thank all the people that helped to get this community centre clean, that supplied the photographs that you see on both sides there, and the people that worked at them late last night, getting them ready and hung on the wall. Again, thanks very much. Now, I suppose the most important part of the weekend is the book. And I would like to just thank Andy for the excellent publication that he has done. I would say it was something he took on, he done it himself with the help of some of his family, and I would say, well done Andy, a job well done. Now before we launch the book, I'll hand you over to Andy to say a few words.
Fellow past pupils of Drumany School, friends, wives, cousins, whatever we have here, you're all very welcome, and it's great to see us all coming here today. I live in Drumkeer, it's in North Leitrim, and the old people tell me that one of the great highlights of their life was Christmas morning. As you remember, most people went to communion on Christmas morning, and since there was no communion given out at the second Mass, all went to the first Mass. And they tell me that one of the most fantastic scenes was the fact that they were all coming down from the mountainsides, and the lights, they were carrying lights with them. And as they came, they were all coming to one central place. And I couldn't help thinking myself that when we started out on this reunion committee, that it was something like that. Here we were, coming together.
past pupils coming together, various nights, twice a week, then once a week, and then maybe 3 and 4 times in the last weeks. And it was a fantastic experience. I'll never forget it because we shared yarns about things that went on in school. We talked about things that happened with the neighbours and the great crack we had. Because remember, we are today sharing a very, very special time in our lives, when we're all young. And it was, whether we liked it or not, school was part of that. And we lived life. We were very, very fortunate to be living in a rural area. We lived with the birds, we lived with the trees, and I suppose spring was life, everything was life for us. People were very friendly. We met them walking the roads in Elton. And I felt it would be great to record that type of life again for the people who are coming after us. Because school children today did not have the privilege of walking to and from school and being close to nature. They did not meet the parents along the road, and they might ask you, how many slaps do you get today? It was a culture of the time. But there were great times. There were great times, and I just thought, further from this symbol of coming together, of the lights on that Christmas morning, that we were coming together again to Drumany National School. And we were coming from all parts of our townlands, and we're coming from all parts of the world now. So it was appropriate that we should have some little commemorative book to record the memories of people from the past. They were great memories. We were very harmless then. The funny thing, we shared life, and life, we were full of life. We knew where everything came from, but we didn't know where we came from ourselves. And I think looking back on it, I think I often went out to the garden to see would we find a baby under a head of cabbage. It's amazing. That's the world we grew up in. But there were some great things in it, and these are recorded in the book. And I'll have to say a sincere thanks to the people who made the contributions. I think it would be a record for a book around here. I think there's about 33 contributions to the book. Articles of various types, humorous, sensible, very descriptive, but very, very, very evocative of life that was in the past. And I cannot help being amazed at the moment. I'm in the teaching profession myself, and the standard of literacy, the standard is phenomenal, and quite a lot of the articles I got from people who never went further than national school. And I think that says a lot for all the teachers we had in Drumany, and it says a lot, of course, for Master Rillans. He was a phenomenal teacher, and all the teachers, I can remember them all, one after the other, that taught me, and they were giving us life, they were giving us inspiration. And of course, we were very harmless too. I'll often think of Sinead Kenny's first poem that we learned. Vi van an fyddo agus vi ge egi. Agus the rubben ge op over got law. Ach ni rowan van sauce le shin, agus the worry she and ge. Ni rowan tor no and ge egi and shin. Here was I, a little harmless little fella, and sure I was all the time up around Tommy McGovern's when the goose was laying, hoping to God that he'd get a golden egg there too. It's great to be here. It's great that the history of our national school is recorded now. To think that our school goes back so far, and there were 3 schools, you'll read that. We've got the folklore of the master, which was always part of our life. I think we all felt we were in a special school, that it was the most historic school ever, and it gave us that sense of pride, so it did. We have that recorded. We have the memories from past students recorded. We have photographs. And thanks to the generosity of our sponsors, there are no ads. It's a continuous read-through. It might look small, but there are 33 articles in it. And it is, I think, reflects
a lot of beautiful thoughts from past students, and I thank you most sincerely for your contributions. Last but not least, I want to thank Maura Brillant-Mully, who designed the beautiful call. And it symbolises a lot of what we talk about in Drumany. I want to thank you all. Come now together, enjoy the weekend, because you have had one of the precious childhoods that anybody had. Relive it, read through the book and relive it, with beautiful articles from your fellow ones. Articles come back to people who were there in the 1920s. So, I thank you all sincerely for that, and I hand you back to Patrick Egan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. When Mass was over around Drumany, a few people I met were mentioning to me, I wonder you didn't go into politics. But before I introduce our next guest, you'll probably know why I didn't go into politics. It's an honour for us to have a parishioner and a politician, our local TD, Mr. John Ellis, to launch this book. Thank you, John.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't Pat Egan a lucky man? Because at least he has a normal life, unlike the rest of us. Because he has a 9-to-5 job. Don't tell that to Phil, because the bottom line of it is someone was offering him, it's not between 9 and 5. First of all, having been asked to launch this book to me is something that I very much appreciate. I suppose people will say, you have no tie to Drumany National School. I have. Detta Reynolds taught me, and she was a past pupil of Drumany National School. And I can still remember when Detta arrived to the old school over the road, here was this new teacher, and we were all in I suppose, about high infants when she arrived, and we were wondering what she was going to be like. But at least she was young, because the previous teacher that was there when I went was the late Mrs. Hearden from Cornagun, who, in my view, when I went there, looked to be 100, despite her age, the poor woman might have been at the time. But she did look to be that. There was that much of an age gap. I suppose people look at me now and they say that that fellow's around long enough to be an awful lot older than he is. But that's how this world moves on. I think that a great debt of gratitude is owed to the committee here, because this committee have put in long hours working on this project. I wouldn't believe it what sort of hours had to go in, only I'm a kind of on the sidelines, and another one that takes place next weekend for a Doon where my wife went to school. She's treasurer of that, and it's a meeting after meeting after meeting and trying to make sure that everything will run smooth. And the effort of trying to trace people and find out where people are that might have been in the school maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago takes a tremendous amount of effort. And I think the committee deserves a major round of applause for the effort they've put into this entire project. I think Pat Egan, as chairman, has done a tremendous job, because whoever leads from the front, and he has led from the front throughout this project from start to finish. When we move on to the editor-in-chief, and we move on to Andy. I got the book today under a kind of very false pretenses, let's put it that way. We needed the book to get a photograph taken with Willie Donlan. So I went over to Pat Egan's, I got the book, I came back, and then I had to go away and I got a chance to read through it. But when you read through the articles, and as Andy Redahan said, you see the standard of articles that's written in it, how descriptive they are with regards to the people of the area and what went on down the years. I think that it's a tremendous credit to every one of the 30-odd people who have put articles into this book. They have showed their commitment to their school, but they've also showed something else, and that is they have showed that their time in school with Master Reynolds and all the other teachers was well spent, and they learned more probably in national school than many of us learned in second level as we went on in life. They learned to be able to read, write, and I think that when you look at the standards that we see coming from some of our own kids today, we start to worry and wonder, has the literacy end passed many of them out because of the television and the video and all the other things and the computers that seem to occupy so much of their lives. I think that they have missed out on what a lot of us had, which was simple things that made life very, very enjoyable, harmless fun in comparison with what young people are facing today. Andy, I think, did a tremendous job in editing the book, and as he said, the cover that's designed by Maura Reynolds, I think, would do any graphic designer credit, and she deserves also a big round of applause to them both. Everybody is here to enjoy the weekend. Nobody wants to listen to fellas like me talk, and Frank Rourke said that if I did over 3 minutes that he'd start to heckle from the back, but he's kept quiet so far, so that means that it's time to get out while you're ahead. Once again, I want to congratulate the school committee, congratulate everybody who put the effort into it, and congratulate everybody who has made the effort to come back. We see people that we haven't seen for many years, and in that book I see faces that I can remember from another life. And I see the likes of the late Jim Sharnley, Jimmy McGovern, Packy McGovern, Jim Green, people that we all remember in our own lifetime. It really brings you back and reminds that time is slipping on, and it's up to each and every one of us to make the most of it. And I think reunions like this are something that should be held where at all possible. And maybe somebody would look at the possibility of holding another one in about 10 years' time to keep those that are around in tune and to keep everyone in the mood that they're in today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
John, just spent is presentation of certificates. Each pupil that attended Drumany National School will receive a certificate. Again, a certificate that was compiled by Andy Redican and the writing done by Mrs. Sean McKeown from Ballinamore. I must say, excellently done. So, please. Bernadette Byrne. Joseph Byrne here. Anna Bohan McGovern. Eddie Cafferty is here. Anne Canning from home. Martina Cole. All the way from the Kingdom, Carmel Dorsey Daly. Eamon Darcy. Helen Darcy Knight. Mary Darcy Chance. Sorry. Peter Darcy, maybe Carmel, you collect Peter. There. That's Peter. Breach Doherty O'Connor here. Breach Doherty O'Connor.
No, it's a video.
Right.
Oh, I don't have that.
You can go. Breach Doherty O'Connor. Cyril Doherty. Sorry. Mary Ann Doherty Darcy. Mary Kate Doherty Burton, I don't think she's here either. Noel Doherty. Patsy Doherty Lee. Patsy Doherty Lee. Got that. No, not is she here? Dolan Dooner. Now we have all the Dolans after this, so please be ready. Francis Dolan. Now we have Anne Dolan, I know she's not here. We have Greta Dolan, we know she's not here. James Dolan, maybe Francis, you collect James's. Francis. And we'll give him Keelan's as well. No, we'll give it to G here. Now, Mary Kate Dolan. Galley, Mary Kate Dolan Galley. Next, Matthew Dolan. Rosaline Dolan. Now the next one is Sue Dolan Sheehan, and I think Sue, you'll have a lot of certificates to bring back with you, because you have one for Tommy Dolan, one for Father Paddy Dolan, one for Molly Dolan, one for Greta Dolan, and one for Anne Dolan, all past pupils of Drumany School. The next is Keelan Dolan. Sorry, Keelan Doonan, sorry. Keelan Doonan. Sorry, Keelan Doonan. Not there. Thank you. Anne Degnan Meehan. Anne Degnan Meehan. Bridgie Degnan McInerney. Esther Degnan Byrne. Degnan. Margaret Degnan Meehan. Paddy Degnan not here. Peter Degnan not here. Una Degnan. Isabel Early O'Toole not here. Mary Bridget Early Spicer. Charles Egan. John Francis Egan. And Patrick Egan. Now we move on to F. Jim Fanning. Paddy Joe Fanning. Go ahead. Breach Flynn Harty. Should be a lot of Flynns getting ready now. Brendan Flynn. Frank Flynn, and we'll be delighted, I think his daughter is here. I would be delighted if she could come up and collect this for Frank. Frank Flynn. Drumany on. Margaret Flynn. Margaret Flynn. Mary Flynn. Yeah. Mona Flynn McKenna. If someone could relieve the barman for a while, Tommy Flynn. Brady Ford Lawler. Lily Ford. Christy Gaffney. Michael Joe Gaffney. Louise Gibbons McGovern. Heather Gibbons. Rita Gibbons Muldoon. Felix Gill. John Gill. Josie Gill Lenan. Maura Gill Horgan. Tessie Gill O'Rourke. And Willie Gill. Harry Gralton. Kathleen Gralton Bohan. Anne Green and Power. Anne Green and Power. Breach Green and Duggan. Colette Green and Cashman. Colette Greenan, Dolores Greenan, Dolores Greenan, Jean Greenan, Eileen Greenan, Eileen Greenan, Amanda Greenan, John Joe Greenan, Kathleen Greenan, just what I get you. Kevin Greenan, Mary Greenan, Matthew Greenan, no, Porrick Greenan, Seamus Greenan, Veronica Greenan, Vaughn Greenan, Vaughn Greenan, Brendan Keegan. No, we're on to the keys, so would all the keys be ready, please? Brendan Keegan. Tracy Keegan. Brendan Keegan. Jessica Keegan McNiff. Jimmy Keegan. Jimmy Keegan. Mary Keegan. Noel Keegan. Philomena Keegan. Sean Keegan. Now, John Layden. Porrick Layden. Porrick Layden. Sylvester Layden. Vincent Layden. You take Sylvester. Vincent Layden. Come on, Vincent. Frankie Maguire. Frank Maguire. Frankie Maguire. Hugh Maguire. John T. Maguire. Tessie Maguire. Jerry Meehan, James Meehan, and Michael Meehan. Jerry James. Michael is collecting the three of them. Bernadette Melia Lunny. Bernadette Melia. Eileen Melia Kenny. Sorry. Helen Melia. Helen Melia. Kathleen Melia. Kathleen Melia Mulvannerty. There's a Kathleen Melia Adley. Kathleen Melia Adley. If Gerard Adley is there, maybe he'll collect this one. Mary Neil O'Sullivan. Michael Melia. Podge Melia. Podge Melia. He's not here. Columbermore. Podge Melia. Come on, Podge, there's Podge there. You get Podge. Podge Melia. Podge is the way. Podge Melia. Podge. Michael. Bridie Muldoon McLean. Eileen Muldoon. Now, Kathleen Muldoon McLaughlin. Michael Muldoon. Mihal Muldoon. Where's Mihal? Patsy Muldoon. Thomas Muldoon. Thomas Muldoon. Joe Mulvannerty. Come on, Joe. Pádraig Mulvannerty. Bridie Mulvey Smith. Jimmy Mulvey. Josephine Mulvey Power. Pacho Mulvey. McGovern Gibbons. Bridie McGovern Gibbons. Here, Bridie. Keelan McGovern. Claire McGovern McGarrel. Claire McGovern, thanks Claire. Cyril McGovern. Cyril McGovern. Marius collected it for him. Dennis McGovern. Dennis McGovern. Josephine McGovern Fleming. Mary McGovern. Noel McGovern. Porrick McGovern. Seamus McGovern. Gabriel McLean, Cora McKeown Kelly, Tom Joe McKeown, Geraldine McKiernan McGee, Tricia McKiernan Keelty, John Joe McLaughlin, Liam McLaughlin, Patrick McLaughlin, Doherty McKiernan, I think we missed out on that one. Sean McLaughlin, Michael McNulty, Mary McNulty, Chris McNulty, and Bridie McNulty. John McQueenie, Mamie McQueenie, John Neelan, John Neelan, Greta Neelan Heaney, Brian O'Rourke, Brian O'Rourke, Noel is collecting that. Nihal O'Rourke, Noel O'Rourke, Noeline O'Rourke, Noeline O'Rourke, Teresa O'Rourke, Vincent O'Rourke, Vincent O'Rourke, our man Vincent, Frank O'Rourke, Geraldine Patricia O'Rourke. Patricia O'Rourke. Peter O'Rourke. Sean O'Rourke. Andrew Redican. Annette Redican. Erwin. Keelan Redican. Eileen Redican. Francis Patrick Redican. Ita Redican. Josie Redican McGrail. Josie Redican McGrail. Maureen Redican Doherty. Maureen Redican. Prunches Redican. Seamus Redican. Seamus Redican. Seamus. Sean Redican. Shardon Redican. Rose Riley laughing, not here. Anna Rillans. Sorry, no. There's two Anna Rillans. The next one is Anna Rillans Dolan. Anselm Rillans.
Thank you very much.
Detta Rillans Power. Maura Rillans. Porrick Rillans. Porrick Rillans, Marion Rillans. Marion Rillans, Leon, Porrick Rillans. Porrick Rillans, Marion Rillans. Hatcho Rillans. Benny Rowley. Benny Rowley. Mary Rowley. Michael John Rowley. You collect the three of them. PJ Rowley. PJ Rowley. Four of them. Here they are. Roisin Doherty laughing is out just after coming up to collect hers. Eileen, 'Eileen' 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 ' Liam Shanley, Phyllis Shanley, Phyllis Skinny, Pauline Shanley. And last but no means least, Eddie Joe Walpole.
So far?
It was very good, very great day, good day indeed, so it was. Weather turned out very good, so it was, and everything went according to plan anyhow. And there's a couple of people I'd like to thank more than anyone else is Pat Egan, Andy Redahan, and Brady Dorsey. They put an awful lot of work into it, and thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Sean. Vincent Rourke from We're Home. So, Matthew, you're enjoying things so far?
I would like to say to the Drumany committee, this is a wonderful, wonderful day. I can't believe so many new faces I've met here today. And I would like to say to the committee, thank you very much for this day. And God bless you.
You have the same to say.
Oh, it's great to be here today and see all the old places again. People we've forgotten. Things we'd like to forget, but we have to still remember them. Okay? It's a wonderful day. Great. Thanks to the committee. Thank you.
Well done, Vincent. Well done. How many years ago since you left?
I don't remember. I don't want to.
We won't ask you any of those 6-marker questions. Did you meet many people that you haven't seen since you left school here today?
I met quite a few that I haven't met since I went. John Redahan was at school around me, and never seen him from he left school. So, there's quite a few dead, unfortunately, 2 or 3. But quite a few I wouldn't know at all. To live next door neighbours near enough, and you wouldn't know who they were. Yeah. Only for this, we never have met them.
Except for the name tags were a bit of a help, I'd say, were they?
A couple of name tags, we had to look around their shoulders to see them, pretending. I shook hands with a couple and they didn't know me either. I don't know whether that was good or bad, you know.
Where are you living yourself now?
In Corrivarrick, not far from Castleford.
All right. That's great. So look, thanks very much for giving us the few words. Thank you. Funchius Redican. First of all, lads, you had an enjoyable day.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's great.
You're from the States yourself, John Joe. What part?
New Jersey. Yeah.
When did you come in to Ireland for this reunion?
Years ago. 10 days. Yeah.
And I presume there's a lot of people that you've met at this reunion that you haven't seen since the day you left Drumany School.
Anybody with grey hair, I went with them to Drumany School. That's my sign that I know them.
Can you remember what years you were in the school from? Can you just approximately?
I was in Drumany School from 1936 to 1947. Or maybe more than that.
And when did you travel to this? When did you immigrate to the United States then?
I immigrated to the United States in 1954.
So you've been over and back, I'm sure, lots of times since.
Over and back quite often, but at least every 3 years.
And I'm sure you'll be grateful to the committee, as most people are here, for bringing you all together again.
Oh, I'm so happy. I've been looking forward to this for months. And before I left America, I spoke to a friend named Betty Dorsey, who went to Drumany School, and I said, as I'm walking around the law, I'll think about you. And she said to me, as she did when we were kids, there'll be nobody to throw you in the lot this time.
Well done, John Joe, and you're very welcome home, and enjoy the rest of your visit.
Very much.
Now, Funchius Redican. Funchius, you're from where?
I'm from Drumrusk. It's quite near Drumany. We had to walk around the lake to school, which was lovely. And of course in the winter time it was quite difficult as well, because you had a lot of water and rain, and of course we used to dip ourselves as well sometimes. Unnecessary, you know.
Are you living locally now here?
I'm in London for 45 years.
So I'm sure it was something that you were looking forward to immensely.
Well, as you get older in life, the past is great, and it was fantastic to think that they were doing this and that we could have a chance to come back to it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well done, Funchius, and enjoy the rest of your visit home, okay?
Thank you very much.
In Dublin, but obviously who went to Drumany School. And your name?
John Joseph Greenan from Muckross originally, and now I live in Dublin.
And you're enjoying yourself quite obviously, John.
I'm having a marvellous time, and I would like to actually pay a very warm tribute to the organising committee for unbelievable extent of organisation that went into this function. I was pleasantly surprised to really find out how much detail that had gone through, and the organisation behind it is just unbelievable. I'm amazed.
So you've obviously met a lot of people that you haven't seen in maybe 20 or 30 years.
Well, I went to Drumany school starting in about 1930. I was born in 1925. I started my school when I was 5 in 1930. I left to serve my time at the tailoring in 1939. The educational background I got in Drumany has stead me in wonderful stead all over these years, and I could say that during my time in Dublin I could probably compete with people in secondary education with my national school education, which is a great tribute to Master Reynolds, and I'm proud of have gone to Drumany School and enjoyed all my years in it.
Well done, well done. And we have also here Patcho Reynolds. Patcho, you originally townlanders?
Well, my original townland was Cornabrawn, because funny, I had a very short career here in Drumany. I came here in 1951 for 2 years, and I came with the reason because Master Redden left Cromie. He went off to Kilnagross. So I came down here in 51. I was here then until 53. 2 wonderful years, and then indeed 2 very fruitful years. What John says is very true about Patrick Reynolds as a teacher. I've often been asked over the years of what was the influence that teachers had on me. And I always feel that Paddy Reynolds was one of the most influential men that I ever had teaching me. I put him up there with people like Garrett Fitzgerald. I put him with a fellow called Donald Barrington. He was more than a teacher, he was an educator. And today I often hear about the illiteracy rate in Ireland. And I often wonder how could that happen? Because I certainly believe that out of Drumany School, I do not believe anybody could ever have left this school without being able to read and write, because it was fundamental part of our education here. The other thing that I can remember perhaps is, and now they put fancy names on it, they put social studies on it. We did it. I first learned to count proportional representation after, I think it must have been the 1951 general election. That was done, and I remember that to this day. And there are so many people who perhaps got a greater grounding in politics than I did, did not know that. And that's what Drumany School did. I think it was wonderful. Now, today's performance, I think, has been a wonderful tribute to the people who organised it. I have done bits of organisation myself over the years, and I'm certainly well aware of what is involved in this. It was a colossal undertaking, but I think today, looking at it, their fruits are there for all to see. It was a wonderful performance.
Thanks very much, Patcho Reynolds. And Imelda, you were obviously went to school in Drumany, but where are you living now?
I live in Cambridgeshire, in Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire.
Very good. And you travelled over especially for this reunion?
I did.
And have you met many of your old school pals? I'm sure you have.
Well, I've met quite a few. One school pal, very in Matthew Greenan. I was in the same class as him, and I enjoyed meeting him. I'm seeing a lot of faces, but as the day goes on, I remember their faces, but I couldn't put a name to them. But of course, with the names going up, I understood it, and I thought it was lovely. I really enjoyed it.
I'm sure if there wasn't the name tags, there'd be problems all around.
It would be a problem, really, but I enjoyed seeing everybody, and it's very rewarding, and it's a lovely day, and I really enjoyed it.
You're only halfway through. Still a bit of dancing to be done yet tonight.
It's lovely, and I really enjoy it. It's one of the nicest memories in my life.
Well done, Imelda, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Veronica, and where are you living now?
Living in Bushy Heath in Hertfordshire in England.
And obviously, no more than you travelled all the way over for this event.
Yes, I have indeed.
What year did you leave Drumany School?
I left in 1941.
And obviously you can recollect a lot of memories from the school. Anything special that you can remember today that brought back memories for you?
Well, the thing I remember most was sliding on the lake and with the ice broke, and I was going right underneath, and P. Roke, Lord of mercy on him, so got the top of my head, pulled me up by the hair and saved me.
You're a very lucky woman, so to be here with us at all today.
Yes, I certainly am, and I appreciate seeing all my sisters and brothers, and my nieces and nephews and sister-in-laws. It's been a real pleasure.
Did you get an opportunity to go around the house today, which is now the old school, of course? Which was the old school?
Oh yes, and I met the owner, the tenant now who lives there. He was extremely nice, and I wouldn't recognise the school, but it was very nostalgic. And particularly I enjoyed that young girl singing. She had a voice like an angel and a face like an angel. I was most impressed.
Yeah, very well done, a very nice mass indeed. Thanks very much again for talking to us.
Bridge, Greenan, Duggan.
Bridge, and you now hail from what?
Just Boston, just outside of Boston, a place called Milton, Massachusetts.
And no doubt you travelled all the way over to Drumany for the reunion.
Yes, I came all the way over, and it's wonderful.
Earlier today we had the mass at the old school. I'm sure it brought back a lot of memories for you.
An awful lot of memories. We went in to see the old school, and it was wonderful. And met a lot of old friends that we went to school with.
I'm sure many of them that you haven't seen since the day you left.
Yes, a lot of them I haven't seen since the day I left. Since I left school at 13.
Right, and I suppose you have family here in this part of the world at the moment.
Yes, well, I was born in Muckross, and my brother, of course, is dead. His wife's name is Anna, and they had a big family of 8. And
did any of your own family, your immediate family, travel with you?
no, none of my own immediate family. My brothers and sisters. I have a sister Regina and Imelda from England, and I'm from America. And my brother John Joseph is from Dublin.
Have you family in the States now?
I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and I'm expecting my 4th grandchild, a baby boy, on the 25th of December.
Oh, very good. That'll be some Christmas box for you.
Thank you. It was really nice speaking.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Fine.
You're enjoying the day, obviously.
I am, yeah. Meeting a lot of people I haven't seen for a long time.
What year did you leave Drumany?
1962. July of 62.
And are you living locally or Brendan or away?
No, I live in RD in County Louth.
Right, well, I'm sure looking around the school today brought back some memories for you.
Yeah, today was the first day I've been back since I left it, 1962, which is too many years now at this stage to remember.
What, I suppose, is there many more friends, or many was in your class for a start?
Patrick Egan, Keelan Dignan, Bernadette Dolan, Sue Dolan.
And were they all here today?
All here today, yeah.
Well, look, thanks very much for talking to me, Brendan, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the weekend.
Okay, thank you very much. It's enjoyable.
Who is, of course, living and still in County Leitrim, but obviously a pupil of Drumany. Cyril, you enjoyed the day?
Yes, it was fantastic. It was, and it was a credit to the organisers. And I'm very pleased to see the Adams family so settled and happy in their school, in the schoolhouse.
So, what year, Cyril? Can you give this secret away? What year did you leave the school?
I forget.
Very diplomatic answer indeed.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
Well, just finally, Cyril, any sort of little bit of a story you can tell us from Drumany that perhaps maybe mightn't be published, but you could give it to us for the video anyway. Some story involving yourself or any little tittle-tattle at all, we'll take it.
From school days?
Yeah, from school days.
I guess, and I just...
You were a very good student, I presume.
Just, well, it's something else you wanted to hear, was not some tittle-tattle.
You enjoyed yourself there and you had a good year.
It really was. It was great success. And actually our cameraman is very good too, so it helps a lot.
Thanks very much, Cyril. Thanks.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridie Darcy Boyle. Bridie, you had a great day.
Yes, wonderful day. We enjoyed it all. And I think everybody did.
And you have a lady here with you. Who is this?
Yes, Mrs. Mulvanity. Kathleen Media Mulvanity.
Kathleen McCarthy.
Kathleen Media Mulvanity.
Mulvanity. Kathleen, you were probably a long time since you left Drumany.
Myself.
Yeah.
Mainly before now. Before marriage. And my husband is dead now. But I was 48 years married. And he's 7 years dead. So I'm still to the bench, the good. Tripping around. All right.
Can you remember what year did you leave Drumany School, or is that a bit of a hard one for you?
Well, no, you asked me something now about what year, to be honest. I don't know.
But you probably, would it be right in saying you'd be one of the oldest pupils maybe here today?
Pardon?
To be one of the oldest pupils here today, former pupils from the school?
No, there was older. Yeah.
So I'm sure going around the school this morning, were you at the Mass, you are?
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't able to stand up to go to Mass. No.
It's good to meet you, anyways, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Okay, there. Thank you very much.
My neighbour, first of all, Anne Meehan, or Anne Degnan Meehan, as she's known for this purpose of this Drumany School reunion. And I don't see her with her husband, but she's here with her sister Margaret, obviously a pupil. You enjoyed the day, Anne?
Thank you very much, Inda. I've enjoyed it very much. And these are my other two sisters. Bridge and Esther.
Bridge and Esther.
Yes.
And Margaret.
Oh, yes.
You had a great day, Michael Joe.
Very enjoyable day. It was great meeting old friends and all school pals and everything.
You're living locally in the parish.
Yeah.
And tell me this, any of them that you met that went to America or England or those places that you hadn't seen maybe in 35 or 40 years?
Exactly, there was. It was great to see them again. Great to see them.
You were part of the committee, Michael Joe, were you?
Yeah.
I'm sure most people that I spoke to earlier today, they had huge praise for the committee and for all the hard work. So I'm sure you're very gratified by that.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of hard work put into it between everybody, but especially there was a couple that had an awful hard job to do, was Andy Redahan and Pat Egan. And they worked very hard, and Bridie Darcy Boyle. Everyone done their share, but they had a most big share to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think from talking to everybody here that attended, even from the States and England, they're certainly showing their appreciation to you for organising it, and I'm sure that's something for you to have.
Oh yes, it is very good. Very good.
And tomorrow now, of course, you have another bit of a do tomorrow night. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, that'll be the end of it, and it'll be very good to meet everybody again and enjoy it. And I hope them all have a very enjoyable weekend.
Michael Joe, thanks very much for talking to us, and enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And Sean. No, Sean, I know you weren't there for a huge length of time, but I'm sure you have some memories from Drumany.
Oh yeah, I'd have loads of memories. Well, it's a small school, and I suppose the best memories is all the lads I went to school with, I suppose, and girls and teachers and all that. But I can't remember anything specific now at the moment. It might come to me in a while.
When you were out at the school there this morning, I'm sure you were looking around and an odd one came back to you.
Well, no, funny, I missed that this morning now, but I'm just after arriving.
Where are you living now yourself?
I live in Dungannon in Tyrone.
You came down the whole way for the reunion?
I come down for the reunion tonight now, but as you see, it'll take me a while to get settled, and the memories will probably come back after a while now.
Okay. Noeline, yourself, how long did you spend in Drumany?
I think about 2 months.
2 months. So you must be one of the shortest spell of pupils, yeah?
I think we actually went to play school there. I think there's a play school there.
Are you living locally, Noeline, no? You living locally?
I live in Corbet.
Yeah. Right. So did you meet many people from home? I presume you did.
I only actually met 2 or 3. There wasn't a lot there from our class, about 2 or 3.
And finally, Noel, you're of course no stranger to the local scene. We see you every, I'll go to every dog fight, but every football match or whatever is going. So you enjoyed the crack.
It is it's great to see people, even though we've been at school. I was only there for 3 or 4 months. We were twins. And we went to school together, and it was only 4 or 5 in our class, and I'd have no memories as such of it, but most of the people, it's good to see people about and that, and enjoying themselves, the older people especially.
I'm sure it's great for the parish of Fina that gets so many people back and meeting old friends and everything.
It is, it's good to meet people, and brings back memories and that, you know.
And there's an awful lot of people here from the States and in England. I'm sure it took a lot of organisation to get them back here.
That would have took a lot, and it's good to see them. There must have been a big effort to come back here and that, you know. So
I'm sure you'll say well done to the committee and a job well done.
Very good work. So it's been a lot of thankless hours, and people don't really realise how much effort they've had into it until you see what has happened today and that, you know.
Well, look at Noel, Noeline and Sean, thanks again very much. Interviews here at Foxfield Hall, where tomorrow evening they travel to Mohill, and and a sit-down meal there, and a few more presentations, and no doubt we'll talk to a number of other people involved in Drumany National School reunion.
I would like to welcome you all here again tonight. I'd like to extend a special welcome to Father Doyle. He has been with us all over the weekend, and he has been an inspiration to us all, day and night. Thank you very much, Father. To the people that weren't with us yesterday or this evening but are here tonight, you are very welcome, and hope that you all have a very enjoyable night for what's left of it. We hope that the reunion that you found and met up with some old friends, that I discovered yesterday evening that addresses and phone numbers are already being exchanged, and if we achieve that much, it's fantastic. The people that haven't met for 30, 35 years have already exchanged addresses and phone numbers, and I hope you keep that up. Thank you very much. People have been saying to us, you must have worked very hard, you put a lot of effort into it. We did that, but all of you here tonight, and that have been with us for the weekend, have rewarded us for that work by your presence with us over the weekend, from all parts of Ireland, from England, from different parts of America, and from Honduras. That proved that the work that we've done for the last 12 months didn't go unnoticed, and you all can feel part of that fantastic weekend. Thank you all very much. Functions and events like that, like this, cannot be run without a committee. And I must say, from we forum last January, it was an excellent working committee. We met regularly, we discussed everything, and from start to finish, I don't think we had a wrong word. Every one of us worked as a unit. And even outside that committee, we got help. People that weren't even members of that came in behind us. Anything we asked them to do, they done it. And again, thank you all very much for that. Our recording secretary was Andy Redican, here on my left. So, I mean, what can I say about him? It was his idea at the start that this reunion would be run. He has seen it through. He presented the book that you all have bought. He done the banner. He done the certificates. What more can I say? It all speaks for itself. Well done, Andy. On my right is our correspondence secretary, Bridie Dorsey Boyd. Most of you, when you got your invitations, you seen on one corner of it, reply by the 26th of June. But I must say, at the meetings that we had after the 26th of June, Bridie arrived at the meetings with numbers that had replied, nearly the time and the date they have replied, whether it was by phone, word of mouth, or by letter. Bridie had all that recorded. And needless to say, when some of the replies weren't coming back, Bridie, in her efficient manner, went after replies herself, and again was successful and done a sight of hard work for us. Thanks very much, Bridie. An organisation like this has what we would call Chancellors of the Exchequer, treasurers. But we were fortunate in two excellent treasurers, Michael Joe Gaffney and Sean McLaughlin. If you forgive me, there's one man I'll single out of it. And that man is Patrick McLaughlin, or better known to us as Sonny McLaughlin. Over the last number of weeks has been phenomenal. He has worked tirelessly. He has been with us all the way, bubbly and full of energy as usual. But not to keep him out too late at night. I think when about 11 o'clock came, he was anxious to get home. Thank you very much, Sonny. To the remainder of the committee, Brendan Keegan, Seamus Redican, Angela Riddens, Vincent O'Rourke and Padder Gibbons. People who were always there, they were with us all the way. Anything we asked them to do, they willingly done it, no problem. Thanks very much, lads. That much of it, I'll hand you over to Andy Redican. He might like to say a few words to you.
Told you that the committee worked exceptionally well. That is for sure. It was the calmest crossing you could ever have. And no matter whether you're on a calm crossing or a rough crossing, you always have to have a captain. And if you're out in the Pacific Ocean years ago and if you were on the sailboats, the captain had to be very imaginative to take the ship away with. Same with Patrick here. He was an inspirational captain of our ship. And on behalf of the whole committee and you out there, we say sincere thank you, Patrick. I'll let you in on a little secret. When we used to meet, we met in different houses, and to be quite honest with you, it was a joy for me coming back there to them, the welcome and that we got from all the houses, in each house. It was great. And whether they were husband or wives, they were put out a bit. They were always, intruding on them. But we got the greatest hospitality you could imagine. There was one. We used to go around in the houses, and I found that there was one house that Bridie seemed to be the securest in. One woman and 10 men. And you know where she was really secure? When she had Frank by her side in our own home in Drumcora. Bridie is a great woman. She's a great woman. And I'm only joking about that. Bridie fitted in with all of us, and she was a great leader. And I'm delighted that I called to see her last August. One day, show day in Ballinamore was passing, and we talked about it. And it took a while to get off, but it's here, and we're together. You'll have memories, and I ask you when you go back home, bring those memories with you of those that you met on the road, those that you couldn't understand, those, of course, that you went home and talked about and said, God bless us and save us, didn't that person look great, young? Didn't that person look changed a bit? I wouldn't have known you. This was the type of thing that was coming. No one said, of course, anyone got old looking. So we all did. But you're going to have memories. But I think if you get your mind back and start thinking back about the school, when you were there, think of the pile of ashes that was above in the corner, and sometimes a lot of papers around it. Think of all the holes that was through the ditch into Sonny Doherty's field. Think of the times that we threw each other down off the ditch into the gripe. Think of the games of football that we played out on the farm, and we all thought we were the greatest footballers of all time. Think of all those things. Think of the little mishaps in the classroom. You went through a great time at school, as we all did, and now bring them back, tell your children about it, because we don't tell enough about our youth to our children, I think. Share it with them, and share it this weekend, because for me it was very special to see it realised and to see all of you so enjoying yourselves. And remember this, it wasn't a reunion just of Drumany School. It was a reunion of families, a great reunion. And I suppose I wouldn't have seen Sean this year were it not for the reunion. He came all the way from Honduras. So that in itself, was a great benefit of having the reunion. It might be a little selfish one, but it is great that we're all together. We're all here together, as you used to say, like Brown's cows. But we're going to enjoy the rest of the night. Bring the memories with you. Think back to the good old days. Think now of the good old days that we had here. And these memories may bring you down the roads, for long, long roads, into a long, long life afterwards. And you'll say to yourselves, Skel Drumany, be Ambragan and Shin. Thank you very much. Now, Bridie, our secretary, we couldn't let her get away without saying a few words. So, Bridie will come along over here.
I had always dreamed of having a school reunion. Never thought it possible it could happen. We had a meeting after meeting. After a few meetings, we decided to go on with it. By looking down the hall tonight, seeing the faces of the past pupils, it made all the hard work worthwhile. Hope you all enjoy the weekend. God bless.
Well done, Bridie. Bridie isn't going to get away without doing another bit of work. I must say that we were honoured to have teachers coming back to us. It was wonderful to see 5 teachers, past teachers from our school with us. Sinead Kenny here came all the way. She's Sinead Kenny Burden now, or Jane Burden. She came all the way with her husband from County Wicklow. Maura McCarthy, Maura Kilkine McCarthy, came all the way to us from Prosperous in County Kildare. Our good friend Anna came all the way from Kells to be with us. Anna Rinnans Dolan. Eileen McGuinness, or Millie McGuinness, as she likes to be called, and we couldn't call her that, of course, when we were at school. And it's funny how it sticks, because when I was talking to Miss Kenny, as I said now again, automatically, that little thing is always there. But Millie came from Drummond, Millie and her husband Jack. And last but not least, Maura Riddens Mulvey came from Longford. 5 teachers came back to be with us and enjoy them. As I said before, we're very grateful for that, because it's very easy to remember, to get carried away, because I suppose he was an exceptional man in Master Riddens. He was there for so much, and he was finished off 4 years, and he was with all of us practically. But for those 5 teachers, I remember every one of them as being very, very dedicated. I wasn't with 2 of them, but I know them in life, and I know what they're like. I know Anna personally, and she was in my class in school, and Maura, of course, I know her very well. But I had the great pleasure to be with Miss Kenny and Miss Kilkine and Miss McGuinness. And Miss McGuinness confessed to me one time that she wasn't good at song, but funny, 2 songs stick out from her time with me. One of them is Trasna de Dunta, and I suppose it must be a translation of it, Westering Home. but I remember them well. These are the great memories we have from school. And we are very, very thankful to you teachers for coming to us and for all the knowledge that you got into us. And I'd say sometimes it was a difficult task because they're probably looking out the window at someone going by driving a horse and cart or an ass and cart or an ass and poor dogs or an ass and creels as it was that time. Certainly there weren't very many cars passing. Thank you very much. Thank you sincerely. And I'm going to ask our good lady, that hard-working woman, Bridie, to make a presentation of bouquet of flowers to our teachers. They're a very small symbol of our appreciation for them coming here and what they have done for us. So we'll start off with Miss Kenny. She's beside us here. I know Millie isn't with us. She told me that this evening. And I'm not too sure about Maura McCarthy. I was looking there. It's difficult to see around when I came through. Is Maura here? Maura Kilcoyne McCarthy. I know that Anna is here. So, Anna Riddens. Who do we have you? Now, Maura Riddens Mulvey. And another teacher who was a substitute teacher with us, and is she here? Our own very good neighbour, Mary Flynn. If Mary isn't here, will one of the family come up? Now, one thing we have to say is this. When Bridie looked exceptionally well with the flowers, and God knows, doesn't she deserve a bouquet herself? This bouquet comes from the committee in appreciation for the, if it was not only for her bravery, but certainly for her efficiency and her great humour and her great work. Thanks very much. Frank, you didn't see that.
Thank you very much for your attention so far. Now, I believe that there's somebody down there representing the past pupils that would like to say a few words on behalf of the past pupils.
Reverend Father, past teachers, past pupils and friends, I can't tell you what it means to me to be here tonight. For many years we have heard about the Drumany school reunion. By God, it happened. It's happened, nearly finished, nearly over. Even the weather was in our favour. Firstly, on a personal basis, I would like to speak about my years at Drumany school. I enjoyed every single day. From the first day I went to Mrs. Mulligan. I had the good fortune to have a bad ear, so I couldn't go out in the wet weather. And when Mrs. Mulligan made her tea, she put plenty of milk in it and she gave it to me. And that was lovely. Then Miss Burke and God took Madge Rourke and Sister Mary Keegan away from us. And of course, then after that, we had Miss Neary, and she too, Lord of Mercy on her, is gone. Then there was Miss Kilkine, and of course, when I was leaving, Jane herself here. I don't remember very much about the lower room after I sort of come to 7th class. It was about time to finish with that. But to go back to Master Reynolds, I think he was the greatest influence on education in our area or any rural area that you could ever find. He was a man of principle, honesty, decency, and plain common sense. You only need, the ethos of the school was honesty, decency, and hard work. If you weren't gifted with brains, Master Reynolds reckoned God gave everybody a gift. He gave me the gift of the gap, the reckon. Mrs. Reynolds was the kindest lady I could ever think of. There will never be another Master and Mrs. Reynolds. Unfortunately, times have changed. And because of our education in Drumany School, this reunion took place with the 9 apostles or the 13 apostles. But it doesn't make any difference, because whichever apostles there was one woman. And that one woman was Bridie Dorsey. And I too would give her an MBE for bravery. She was fantastic. Bridie, I think you worked extremely hard. Very few ladies would come along and have the patience and bravery to work with all those men. Honestly, I do admire you. Furthermore, I think the community, this community, should be very proud of Bridie Dorsey. On behalf of the past pupils, I would like to give you a bouquet of flowers. And I wouldn't be able to explain to you the amount of work that went into this reunion. There are the basic arrangements to be made, letters to be written, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, the weather comes against you, people don't respond, you don't know how many are coming. The committee, who have worked so hard, I would like to pay them a tribute. Patrick is our chairman, I understand. So it's protocol to say chairman and members of the committee and all helpers, however little you did. The Drumany School past pupils join me in recording our deepest thanks to you all for all your hard work in organising this wonderful school reunion. It is extremely difficult to imagine the hours you have spent to get things to fruition, not to mention the phone calls, the research work, the hard work, the expense, and undoubtedly worry, all of which reflects in this wonderful reunion. I cannot tell you how emotional I feel. I met Mary Kay Dolan after 46 years. 46 years. It means so much to us to be brought together after so many years and allow us such a wonderful opportunity to reflect back to our grand roots where we started school. Many thanks once again for all your hard work, and thanks to all of you who helped out. I know there were many, directing cars, carrying vegans. I could go on, but I won't. Anybody who helped, however little, many, many thanks. You have helped to make this reunion such a wonderful success. God bless all of you and your community, which was once ours. I am sure the community is very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Annette, for them kind words. Much appreciated. Now, that nearly brings this part of it to a conclusion. You'll be delighted to hear that. On our behalf and your behalf, to thank the management and staff of the hotel, now by the Estlin Group, their country and western, TLE, call it what you...
Now, we have another. Your name is?
Gerald Adley.
Gerald, and you were from?
I live in Denver, Colorado at the moment, but I'm originally from England. And you're probably going to say, how did I go to Drumany School?
Yes.
Okay, my mother, Kathleen Melia from Drumany, she went to England just before the war, and she married an Englishman. He became very ill after the war, and as a result, my sister Maureen Adley and me were sent to Ireland. We lived with John Melia, Paddy Melia and Lizzie Melia in Drumany in a farm there, and we had 2 very happy years living with them, and we attended Drumany School, but I don't remember it too much because I was very young. I was probably about 4 years of age.
But obviously you were delighted to be able to come back, and
I was thrilled. I would not have missed this enough. We've actually travelled back from Denver, Colorado to be here, and I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
Did you meet many people that you would have known at the time you were at school? I know your memory is a little bit hazy, but
I didn't. But I used to come to Ireland regularly after that, and I have actually met a lot of people who I know in the area, and I'm very knowledgeable. So because of my uncles and aunts, and I must admit I do know quite a few people here.
How long are you spending in Ireland?
I've been here for a total of 12 days. We returned to America on Thursday. But it's been really wonderful. Really.
This weekend was well done, wasn't it?
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't have missed it for the world, and it was amazingly professionally put together. It really thrilled.
So you'll be able to go back to Denver or Colorado and tell them the great week you had in Ireland.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to wrap myself in my Irish flag.
Okay. Thanks very much, Charles. Enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thank you very much indeed. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Cheers.
Right. Where are you residing now, Liam?
I'm in England.
England. And you came over all the way for the Drumany School reunion?
I came over all the way for the reunion, and I've looked forward to it for the last 6 years. It's been a great pleasure to be here. Thank everybody ever so much.
And tell me, Liam, what year did you leave Drumany? Can you remember?
53.
1953.
The year that Early Mist won the Grand National.
Early Mist?
Yeah, won the Grand National.
Very good, very good. Sorry. And I suppose, have you met many people, for example, that you wouldn't have seen maybe in 30 years?
I've met people that I haven't seen since I left school. And I will probably never meet them again. It's been really lovely.
Right. Have you any special memories from your time in Drumany? Anything, any old story or something that came to mind over the last 2 days?
I think it taught us a lot. Drumany taught us a lot to get out there and be hard in the world, and you had to be hard.
I'm sure when you went to England you found that the knowledge you gained from Drumany, the schooling you got, stood to you over in England.
Oh yeah, because life was hard and you had to get in there with it.
So it was a good foundation for an immigrant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah. And is there many members of your family with you, Liam, or are you just on your own?
Oh, I've got a brother came from America with his boy, and I've got a brother here, Sonny McLaughlin, and I got a brother, he died in England 3 years ago, Christine.
So it's a kind of a family reunion too, as well as everything else?
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Look at it, Liam, enjoy the dancing and don't do too much of it tonight.
Right, thanks ever so much, thank you.
Thanks for talking. You're very welcome, Noel. Do you enjoy your weekend so far?
Very good weekend, excellent. I stayed with my sister, she was home from America, and I met all the family again, and several I hadn't met for years, and it's been great, and I have a few phone numbers, and a few little addresses. So I'll be following up on some of those.
Right. You're now living in?
I'm now living in Dublin. Been in Dublin for the last 15 years. And
what do you do for a living there, Noah?
I'm working in banking.
Right. And I suppose it's a type of a school reunion for you, or a family reunion as well as a school reunion.
Oh, very much so, and for several others too. Oh, yes.
So a lot of people that you've met today, have they brought back a lot of memories from the time you were in school?
Absolutely, and I thought I remembered everything, but the memory isn't as good as it used to be, and there were a few things I missed out on, but it was nice to be reminded.
There was 5, I think maybe 6 teachers there mentioned. Any of them that taught you or that were here today, or over the weekend?
Well, Maura Reynolds would have been my first teacher there. I also remember Miss McGuinness and Miss Kenny. But I suppose Maura Reynolds would be the one that I would remember fondly, no doubt from my early years, and of course the master himself.
You were yesterday. Were you able to get to the whole school itself?
Oh yeah, I was.
It brought back a few memories for you, Noel.
Did it indeed? Didn't look nearly as big as it used to be, but it was the same for everybody else, no doubt.
Right. And thankfully the weather kept up for what was a good weekend.
Well, they came up very well. It was a great weekend. It'd be great if we had one in 20 years' time.
Yeah. And you hope still to be here?
Hopefully.
Well done. Thanks for talking to us, Noel.
Not at all.
That's great. Dublin, obviously a former pupil of the school, and Anselm Reynolds, who's part of the committee and obviously living locally in the Fina parish. Patsy, you had a good weekend?
A great weekend. It was marvellous coming back to the old place again and recalling past memories, meeting pupils of nearly half a century ago who were here together, and recalling episodes, and our master, of course, Master Reynolds, who taught us, and Mrs. Mulligan. The effort put into the organising of this celebration is spectacular. Right.
And what was going to, is Anselm and yourself, were you both classmates, or was there many years between you?
Well, there's about
2 or 3 years, yeah.
Anselm, you were a part of the committee yourself, and obviously, well, there's a lot has been said about all the work you put on, but I'm sure you got a bit of satisfaction out of it when you saw how much people appreciated it.
Well, I was part of the committee, all right, but I was at the tail end of it. You know, I sat back and watched the younger folk do the work. And they did put an immense amount of work into it. But there was a great, you know, there was like a need for it. You know, the people wanted it, and the goodwill was there, you know, and you could see that from the moment that they came around the place. They were happy to be around, meeting one another, and like there was a good buzz to it.
Somebody said earlier it was nearly like a family reunion as a school reunion.
Yes, that's a fair comment.
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, when you were at the school, were you at the school there yesterday, Patsy? You are?
I was indeed, and what a change. It was a school, now it's actually a home, a dwelling house, German people living there. And actually I wrote a little poem about it for the magazine, and it was a surprise when I went into the school to see what a change was brought about. The attic that used to be there was gone, or actually there's the stairs to the attic now. It was a single story house, 2 rooms, and a most comfortable dwelling home now, but we found it difficult to adjust to our new surroundings inside. I looked for the porch, one of the porches in which we used to have on wet days. The boys used to go into the porch and spend the time doing the frog dance, the famous frog dance. One of the boys' porch, or the senior porch, was now seemed to be closed up. I was disappointed to see that. I also dreamt a number of occasions of going back to visit the school, and I found this very disconcerting, because nobody nobody seemed to recognise me. The master was no problem, but you still was there, and I found it very disconcerting to find that nobody welcomed me. It was a little bit nightmarish, but that is maybe a bit of past history. So it's nice to recall that we're back again in the old place and recalling the bygone days. And I was here when the master provided the football field for us to play in, and actually bought the football for us. And from that was a red letter day for the school, where the boys and girls could enjoy football on the pitch. So we're ever grateful to the master for that.
Yeah, grand. And I suppose at the end you're heading back to Dublin now, and you're saying you're satisfied you had a great weekend.
That's right. We'll go back and reminisce and recall our past memories and tell our families about them and tell our young people what it was like in the good old days.
Anselm, there's talk about one in 25 years' time. No doubt you'll be back for that one.
Well, I'll play it by ear.
Patsy's going to come back, Anna, so you're as well.
Right, fair enough. But I think before we leave, I think we should pay tribute to the German family that allowed us into their house, you might say. And not alone did they allow people into the house and everything else, but yesterday was not the healthiest looking day in the world. And they even put up a canopy over the altar for the priest, and I think they deserve great credit for that. And we certainly appreciated it.
I'm sure, and it was great to be in the house and be able to do all that around it. Thanks again, lads, and well, enjoy the rest of the night and don't do too much dancing.
Thank you, Enda.
You don't have to tell us. I'm not able anyway.
He is.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Weekend.
Yes, a very enjoyable weekend and well organised show altogether. Never thought it would be as good.
You meet many of your friends from far away?
Oh, I met quite a few.
Right. You're living locally yourself, Francis?
I'm living in the next parish, where I'm from the parish and went to the school in Drumany.
So you didn't immigrate too far from Drumany?
About 4 or 5 miles.
Right. Well, what years were you in the school? Can you remember in approximately? I don't know, 1950s?
No,
you're not going to reveal that to us all here. We'll all have to work that out ourselves.
I don't know.
Any person you met that you hadn't met since possibly the time you left school?
Yes, I met P.G. Degnan and Jim Degnan and Rona Degnan, all the Degnans.
Right. What about some of your own family? Did any of them come back for us?
Yeah, my sister is back from America.
All right. So it's a kind of a family reunion as well as a school reunion?
It was, and my brother was back from England and wife.
And I'm sure you're grateful to the committee for putting all this together.
Yes, it was a mighty weekend. Thing that I never expected to ever happen.
Right.
Very good.
So you're looking forward to the next one?
Well, I hope so.
Well done. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Last night I had a pleasant dream. I woke up with a smile. I dreamt that I was back again in dear old Erin's I thought I saw Loch Allen's banks in the valleys down below. It was my lovely Leitrim where the Shannon waters flow. I stood enchanted by the scene of grandeur and light. I headed off for Carrick town before the dark of night. I passed Sheemore, that fairy hill where flowers widely grow, and I saw the grave up in McCool where the Shannon waters flow. The next I saw was Fena town with her ancient abbey walls, where the preaching of her holy monks re-echoes through her hall. I stood with reverence on the spot, reluctant for to go. From the town of saints and sages square, the Shannon waters flow. I have traveled far through these great lands, from the east unto the west. But of all the islands I have seen, I love my own the best. And if ever I return again, there's one place I will go. It'll be to lovely Leitrim where the Shannon waters flow.
With your weekend?
Very happy, yes, and everything went wonderful, yes, yes.
And I suppose you met the big thing was getting so many people from far away. You met
met a lot of my schoolmates I haven't seen since I left school.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to see them, and I'd love to have some more, but we couldn't get in touch with them. We didn't know where they were.
Pat, everything went well?
Yes, and I was thrilled with the weekend. I suppose when there would be as much involved as I was, it was hard to enjoy it, but I have to say, at this stage, I really enjoyed it. I would do it all over again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair comment now, and all considered. But I suppose you're a certain amount of relief now. There's a bit of pressure on, but I suppose the fact that people are so appreciative, as you've seen earlier on, was a big thing for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I think talking to people, last night, today and tonight, they were all very happy. They were delighted with the weekend. At the end of the day, it was for them we done it. When they were happy, we were happy.
So what about the next 25 years? Does a lot of them talking about 25 years' time, Brady? Will you be able to organise it again?
Yes, we're looking forward to it, yes. We'll organise it all over again, no problem.
Well done.
No problem.
Congratulations to you both, and I think everyone enjoyed it, and well done.
Thanks very much yourself, Linda. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very much.